Hey there, good looking. If you struggle with weak wrists, or if you've been told that you need to increase your bone density, in particular the wrists and the shoulders, or if you're just looking for a great upper body workout, this is the workout for you. Listen, we will be hitting the wrists and the shoulders in both open chain and closed chain exercises to really target the bones on those joints. You see, building bone is site specific, so we need to apply stress on where we want to load the bone and the muscle. We're going to be working, as I mentioned, through wrist exercises, shoulder exercises, bicep, tricep exercises, chest, back, you name it. So we're going to need a variety of dumbbells for this workout, everything from what you consider are light to heavy. For reference, I have 8s to 25s. You'll also need a couple of yoga blocks, a chair to have a seat in for the first circuit. I know, we're sitting for the first part. Is this not the best workout already? And a piece of light tubing, if I haven't already said that, for our warm up. All right, let's go get started. All right, before we get started, if you like to track your fitness with your watch, press start now. For reference, I use the strength setting on my Apple Watch. And I forgot to mention in the intro, this is a great workout to do in your bare feet as well. So if you want to press pause and take off your shoes and socks, let those tootsies go for it. Why don't you grab that tubing? The further out your hands are, the easier it is. Keep the arms straight, bring the tubing up above the head, and then bring it all the way back, keeping the arms straight, touch your bum, and back. This is called shoulder dislocator drill, and it's designed to warm up the shoulders, improve our range of motion. The more that you work through your full mobility and range of motion of a joint, the better it gets. As you go, you may find that you can walk your hands a little closer together. So we are all over the place with the time and circuits today. It's going to be great. A lot of focus placed on the muscles related to your wrists, elbows, and shoulders. So upper body. Last two. Last one. Beautiful. I want you to anchor the tubing here. Walk your hand in, elbow lined up with the shoulder, and pull out and in. So we're working external rotation. You're going to have to play around with what feels good for you. We want to keep a 90-degree bend on this working elbow, and then we're pulling it away, working the external rotators of the shoulder, but we're not straightening the arm while we're doing it. And as I mentioned, walking your hand up or down your tubing to give you the appropriate amount of load. Remembering that this is a warm-up, so we're not trying to kill the muscle right now. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Excellent. So let's anchor it the other side and pull out and in. Elbow under shoulder. Almost pretend you have a towel in between your elbow and your waist, and you're trying to hold that towel there. 4 more. Last one. Excellent. Bring the band in front. Here's the side view. Pull towards the upper chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Go back to start. We're going to allow the elbows to bend a bit, but we're focusing on the shoulder blades coming together. Knees are soft, and I've recruited my abs by bracing them. So I'm drawing the belly button in, almost like somebody's coming to sucker punch me, and I can see them coming, and I'm bracing for that impact. That's a brace action. We don't want to suck the abs in and hold our breath. We want to brace the abs and still maintain normal breath. Last 4. 3. Woo, getting toasty in that upper back. Yeah, and those shoulders. 1 more. Perfect. Let's get the tube now right under the armpits. Palms facing down, punch out, side view. Now I got the same thing happening with my stance. Feet are shoulder width apart, knees are soft, abs are braced. And now we're focusing on the front of the shoulder and the triceps and the pecs, warming those guys up. So this is what we would call an open chain exercise. Your hands aren't fixed on the ground, but we are closed chain if we were to do a squat because our feet are fixed on the ground. So we'll be doing a blend of those, as mentioned, to really target into the joints and the muscles. Last two. Last one. All right, I want you to grab your light dumbbell. We're going to work one side at a time and have a seat on a chair or bench. Start with your left arm. Rest your forearm on your thigh. Let that hand bend as much as possible. Now, leading with the pinky, come on up. So this is a wrist extension exercise. If you've ever been plagued with golfer's elbow or tennis elbow, this is a great exercise for you. We want a lightish load, 30 seconds of work. Keeping the forearm on our thigh. And as mentioned, we're really trying to lead with the pinky. So it's going to be super easy to lift up and have your hands kind of turn. I want you to try to keep the palm facing the ground. All right, now let's rotate. We're going to do the exact same thing. So let your wrists hand drape right over, maybe anchor your forearm with your other hand and then curl up, leading with the pinky and down. So this is wrist flexion. We tend to be stronger on this, so you might not feel the same muscle fatigue like we did for the first one. So this is hitting into the forearm and wrist joint in an open chain manner. So whatever muscles are crossing the wrists are strengthening, including the joints of the wrist. All right, now I want you to hold near the end. Let your forearm now rest on the side, and I want you to turn your hand down, what we call pronation, and then rotate it and turn it up, for what we call supination. Down, up. So we're trying to get more weight on this end. Holding a hammer actually is a really good one for this guy. If you have a lightish dumbbell, I can't do it. You might be able to hold on the very end of the dumbbell. I can't do that with the 8-pound quite yet. Last one on this side. We'll do the other side in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so forearm now, rest. Drape that hand right over your thigh. Maybe you're going to anchor that forearm so we don't lift the elbow off of your thigh. Lead with the pinky and curl up. Remembering that this is wrist extension, we tend to be weaker in our extensors, so this one might be more challenging. So after we've done our wrist strengthening exercises, we're going to move into a strength circuit. Last 3, 2, 1. Turn the palm up now. Now let the wrist break right over the end of your knee there. Anchor your forearm so it stays against your thigh. Curl up, leading with the pinky and lower. I'm all decked out in red for you today. I love red. It's my favorite color. Next to black. Black like my heart. Just joking. Oh. One more. Excellent. Now turn the palm so it's facing the midline of the body, and let's walk the hand down the bottom of the dumbbell. Now rotate so the palm's facing down for what we call what? Pronation. You got it. And then up for supination. How I remembered that when I was learning it is we want to hold sup with our palm up. So that's supination. For some reason that worked for me. So we're hitting all of the muscles in the forearm for our wrist strength in addition to our time, the bones of our wrist. All right, grab a sip of water. We're gonna move into our strength circuit. You'll need your dumbbells and yoga block for that. All right, our first exercise in the strength circuit is a power push-up. So it's a closed chain exercise to hit the wrists and elbow and shoulder bones, as well as all the muscles connected to that, in addition to some impact to really further get into that bone building. If this isn't gonna work for you, you'll do a chest press with mini-me using your moderate or heavy dumbbells. If you're with me, get your yoga blocks wider than your shoulders, hands on top. Come into a modified plank. Now let's lower down to a push-up. Come in as low as you can. Straighten the arms. Now jump your hands to the ground, jump them back to the yoga blocks, and do it again. So that jumping, right, we're adding impact as we come down, and then we press up, adding impact up onto our blocks. If you're doing chest press with mini-me, your elbows are in front of the shoulders, touching the dumbbells up above. One more. Time. All right. Beginners, double your yoga block. Intermediate, advanced, single. Grab your heaviest weight. I'm grabbing my 25s. 25, feet wider than shoulders. Hips sit back, dumbbell rest. This is a gorilla row, but now our dumbbell is elevated, and we don't have to go quite down as low with our legs. Pick an arm, doesn't matter which one, just remember which arm. Tia taught me this one, yoga block, gorilla row. So it's a little bit more manageable and accessible by building our ground up. We are using our legs to sink ourselves down. There's nothing funky going on in the low back. Working into the arms, rear shoulder, and all of those back muscles for our posture. Now I want you to remember what arm you're using, because we're going to grab a moderate dumbbell time right now with the same arm. So I'm going to try the 15. We're combining a hammer curl with a shoulder press, one arm only, so we get more core fired up. Let's make a fist with this hand, and that's going to help generate some more core stability. Now hammer curl, so curl the hand to the shoulder. Now press up. Don't rotate. Don't use your legs. I'd like this to be a strict press, so we're not push pressing like so. Hammer curl and press. When the timer goes, we'll go to the other hand for the gorilla row. We have 2 rounds of these guys. So now we're hitting shoulder and tricep with a bicep as we do that hammer curl, with core because we're only using one arm, and the core has to fire up so we don't rotate. We're off balance. All right, so grab the heavy with your other hand now. Build your ground up 1 or 2 blocks. Sink your hips back into the deep, wide squat. Rest the dumbbell on the block, and then 3, 2, 1, row up. So my dumbbell's in front of me, and I'm rowing up. This is typically done with kettlebells. Kettlebells is a little more accessible. But you know what? We can always make anything work with a dumbbell. That's why I always say your first investment in your home gym should be your dumbbells. Giving yourself a variety that you can grow into. So you're not always going to be using 5s and 8s. No siree. Hopefully right now you have loaded yourself right up. These are large muscles. They can handle it. We need to fatigue them to get them stronger. One more, please. Excellent. Now, same arm. Grab that moderate weight. Hammer curl the press on this guy. Feet apart, knees soft. Brace those abs. This elbow is going to curl, and then we'll press straight up. Tighten up the fist, more core stability. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Light grip of the dumbbell. Being strict with our press. So we'll probably get about 8 to 10 of these in. Just because there's a bit more going on with this exercise. Whereas the gorilla row, probably 10 to 12 reps. So after this, we're going to take it back to the top with the power push-ups. Or if you opted to do the chest press with mini-me, you'll get into that. Last 2. One more. All right. Pick what you're going to do. If you're using your yoga blocks, they're wider than shoulders, about half off of the mat actually. Hands on top of the blocks, bum down. You're in this modified plank position. Take the push up, taking it a bit deeper if you can. And then as you drive up, hands come down, push up. Gaze at the top of the mat once you've seen me. Keep that neck in line. And recognize this is our last set doing this, guy. This is tough. Whew, I know, because I'm struggling too. This is a really good one, though, to get those bones built in the wrists. Last one. All right. Double or single your yoga blocks, whatever is going to work for you. Grab that heavy, heavy dumbbell. Left hand. Now let's hinge through the hips. Feet are mat width. Sink yourself down and drive. Bum's being pushed rearward. Other hand can rest on the thigh. Dumbbells hitting that target of your yoga block. Breathe out as we pull up. Aiming for 10 to 12 reps. So we're not going fast. This is heavy load. Takes some time to get up there. If you can whip out 15 to 20, we need a heavier dumbbell. One more. Come to stand. Same hand, grab your moderate. Feet apart, knees soft, abs braced. Hammer curl to press. Maybe make a fist with this arm. Create some more stability into the core. And let's go, hammer curl. Press. Slow and controlled. It's getting tough now, which is good because we're near the end of the set. So I know now that this is the right load for me. Is it getting tough on your end? We want the last couple to be a struggle. Time. All right, now we've got the other hand, gorilla row. So let's go back to that heavy dumbbell. Feet are mat width. I have my toes turned out so that when I sink down into that squat, my knees are tracking with my second toe. We sink down, other hand rests on the thigh. 3, 2, 1, drive up. Breathe out as we drive the elbow up. Sinking down deep so we get some lower body work while we work our upper body here. Again, probably 10 to 12 reps. One more. Drive to stand. All right, same hand, grab that moderate weight. Knees are soft, brace those abs. We see that person coming to sucker punch us. Oh, we're bracing for that impact, but we can still do nice deep breaths. Fist, hammer curl, press. We'll grab a water after this and we're moving into a new strength circuit. We have 2 total, so we'll be moving on to our final strength circuit. I always like to know personally where I am in the workout, so I try to share that with you. Like, how much more do I have to save in the tank before I can give it? So next is our last series of moves, so you can go for broke. 10 more seconds. All right, grab a sip of water. We're moving into some strength-based moves as well as one closed chain exercise that's going to hit your core pretty darn hard as well as the bones of your wrists, which are important to keep strong because think about it. Unfortunately, when most of us fall, we do it with an extended arm. We should be dropping and rolling, but we don't. Grab your lights, please. Standing with that, knees soft, ab engaged position, shoulders back and down. Starting with your right arm, lift up to shoulder height, elbow soft, wrist straight, lower, other arm. So alternating side lateral raise. Breathe out. Beautiful. Let's keep the toes, knees, hips, shoulders squared to me. If you want this to be more challenging, don't do single, do double. So, I always want to give you options, reminding you once again that this is your workout, not mine. So I want to meet you where you're at, time, and give you something that you'll like. Let's keep these dumbbells to place our hands on top of. I find it's easier on the wrist joint. We're going to place ourselves into a nice long plank position. From here, drive the left knee in, then the right. Keep going. So slow and controlled mountain climber. At any time, tap the knees down, take a breath, and then join us again. So this is the closed chain exercise, working and building into the wrists. If you can do this with your hands flat and no dumbbell, you're going to get even more benefit. So you have more points of contact on your ground. Gaze at the top of the mat. We're almost done. The last couple of seconds. Woo! There's a ton of shoulder on that too, isn't there? Yeah. All right. Grab your lights, or lightish, on your back. Arms are in a V position. From here, left elbow bends, and the dumbbell comes to the right shoulder. Straighten, other arm, and straighten. Cross body tricep extension. Once we've got that V position with the arms and set up, I want you to kind of glue yourself in that position as we bend the elbow and let the dumbbell come across and touch the opposite front shoulder. Back of the neck is long. When the timer goes, we'll grab onto a slightly heavier weight in a stand position. Palms are facing your knees. All right. Stand position, heavier weights. We're holding ourselves in the halfway part of a bicep curl while we work each arm individually. So I call it an iso hold curl. So palms up and bring the elbows at 90, just under the shoulders. Starting with your right arm, lower, bend, halfway, other arm, lower, curl, halfway. Don't let that wrist break. So curl it in ever so slightly to protect the wrist joint. Woo! Lower, curl, hold. This one's tough. Lower, curl, hold. For the next move, we'll drop the weight down a little bit and do the same thing for our triceps. Different position, but it's going to be the same idea. Iso hold. Woo! All right, so I would drop down a set of weights. We tend to be a little weaker in our triceps than our biceps. Get set up for a kickback. So feet are shoulder width apart, bend the knees, push the hips rear and hinge forward so that when we bring the elbows up, the upper arm is parallel to our floor. Now, press the elbows out and keep the arm straight. Bring one in, straighten, other one in, straighten. One in, straighten, other arm, straighten. So the arm stays straight. Ooh, in constant tension exercise. Well, we then go through the motion of a kickback. This is our last one. We're going to go through these moves one more time, and then we're done. So if you have gas left in the tank, now's the time to use it. Breathe out as we press. One more each arm. Last arm. Woo, baby. Dumbbells down. Maybe shake out those hands. All right, we want the lights again for the alternating side lateral lifts. Hitting the medial head of your shoulder. Bend the knees, pick the dumbbells up. Again, abs braced. Feet apart, knees soft. Start with your right arm, please. 3, 2, 1, shoulder height only. Wrist is straight, lower. Good job. You are squared to me. So we're not turning. So a lot of anti-rotation here, using that core of ours so we don't rotate. That's why I very rarely do an ab workout, because our lifts, when we're weight training, our abs are being used. We may not feel it like a traditional ab workout, but they are being used. Moving into that mountain climber coming up. Time. All right, so we can use the dumbbells, or maybe your hands on top of the yoga blocks, or hands flat on the floor if we really want to get all points of contact to hit into the bones of the wrists. I'm going to try the yoga blocks actually. Wrists under shoulders, feet apart. Give me that long plank. Find that right there. Don't even start yet. Beautiful. Now drive the knee in slow. Don't hike the hips up. We want to keep that nice long line of the body. Arms are straight. Wrists stay under shoulders. Last 10 seconds. So again, closed chain exercise to hit the bones of the wrists and shoulders. Time. Great job, you. All right, grab your light dumbbells. We're going to go across the shoulder, tricep move. On your back. Palms facing the knees. Arms in that letter V position. Now lift the head, tuck the chin, and lower. Left arm comes down, touches the outside of the right shoulder. Now the other arm, left shoulder. Straighten the arms with each rep. We're standing for our next exercise, maybe going up a set of dumbbells to work into the biceps. All right, let's come into stand. Whew. ISO hold curls. This one's tough. Feet hip width or shoulder width, knees soft, abs braced, palms facing, wrists curling a bit, elbows at 90. Starting with your right, lower, curl, halfway, other arm, lower, curl, halfway. I feel a lot of forearm as well. Do you? Which is good. My forearms need to be strengthened, so I stopped getting tennis elbow. Woo! All right, last exercise. Let's drop her down and wait. Bring those feet now hip width. Push the hips rear as we hinge forward. So we've got that neutral spine, but we're far enough forward so that when we bring the arms in a straightened position, gravity's coming down the back of the upper arm. Now left arm and then straighten. Right arm, straighten. Keep the wrist still, shoulders still. It's just your elbow joint now. Bum sits back, so you might feel a bit of leg, bit of glute here as well. Nice long line of the spine, and that includes the head. One more. Woo, baby. Good job, you. Dumbbells down. Woo. Grab yourself a sip of water. Cheers to you. We did it. Oh, look at me. I'm like completely coordinated too. Even my toes. Huh? Like I said, I like red. I also like it when the workout's done. So there we go. All right. Whew. Let's do some stretches and then you can continue on with your day. Let's start with the front of the shoulder using a wall or a door frame. Elbow at shoulder height, forearm resting on your wall or door frame. Step forward with the inside leg, lean forward, and then turn and look away. This is also for the stretching the muscles we did from the push-ups or chest press. All right, let's do the other side. So again, elbow, shoulder height, forearm resting. Step forward, inside leg, turn and look outside shoulder. Release. Take your right arm. Use your left one as some assistant. Walk it down, feeling into the triceps, and give me a little lean away. So we get into a little bit of side body. Now, if this doesn't work for you, remember Over 50 Fitness, we have the whole modified alternative playlist. And I show a nice one of this variation using a door frame. So you can head there to take a look. Other side, but yeah, essentially you put your elbow in a door frame and then just walk your elbow up. So yeah, we have that playlist for fitness and yoga for moves that can be notorious and being issues with joints or as we age. Release. Let's use the yoga block. Actually, we can use both of them. Double up your mat if being on your knees is bothersome. Bring the yoga block to its lowest position. Rotate so the thumbs are pointed up and sit back on your heels. I like my big toes together and my knees open. I find that that's more comfortable. If sitting back on your heels isn't available to you, you'll do a bit of a puppy pose. So you won't sit back and you'll let the chest drop to the floor. Our thumbs are rotated to the ceiling in both positions, though, to hit into your lats. Come on up. Final one for the forearm. Spread the fingers for me, turn them towards the knees, plant the palm on the ground, and sit back till you feel the stretch on the extensors, or on the flexors, pardon me, so all through here. Elbows are straight. Now when we pull back, we're going to pull back nice and slow so that the tips of the fingers are the last to release. And as I do that, I'm going to press down a bit more so I can get a bit of a stretch into the fingers. So I'm pressing as I release, bending the elbow to do so. All right, now we're going to turn the fingertips towards you. Rotate the fingers towards the midline of the body. Arms are straight. Same thing. Just hold. You can sit back a little bit, but I think you'll find being directly on top of the wrists is a little better to get into those extensors now. Now lifting the wrists up and making a fist. Let's do that again. Lower down. Lift the wrists up, make a fist. Good. Two more. It's another great way to strengthen into the wrist joint. Last one. Release. Final stretch. Find yourself in whatever seated position works for you. It could even be a chair. This hand's behind the back, ear to shoulder. If you want a bit more of a stretch, very gentle pull. Feeling that through the side of the head, side of the neck, pardon me, down the shoulder. This is a nice one to do in the shower and have the hot water hit the side of your neck you're stretching. Release. Other arm, palms facing away, ear to shoulder. Maybe this is enough of a stretch for you. You can add a bit more. Release. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so proud of you for making your bone health important for you. As we get older, our goals change. It's no longer trying to fit in a certain pair of pants or to look good in a bathing suit like in our 20s. We're now preparing our body for the aging process so that we can age as strong and as independently as possible. So well done, you. Drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next workout. Bye.